Which brings me to my next subject, because that's Vice President Harris, the presumptive nominee for the Democratic Party. As news spread of Joe Biden's decision not to seek re-election, high-profile Democrats were quick to endorse Harris as their favorite candidate to replace him. Some of those names include Bill and Hillary Clinton, California Governor Gavin Newsom, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Georgia Senator Raphael Warnock, Illinois Senator Dick Durbin, and AOC herself, a.k.a. New York Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, who was once critical of both Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. The latest addition to the list is Nancy Pelosi, who'd been notably silent in the immediate aftermath of the news. The new energy behind the presumptive Democratic nominee has been tangible the last 24 hours as the party has raised over $50 million, according to numerous reports. Many feel the former senator and prosecutor is the perfect candidate to take on Donald Trump and the Republicans. Let me stop you right there. That ain't true. She's not the perfect candidate to go up against Donald Trump. Whether it's true or not true, I'm only talking perception. Because I got my man Roland Martin coming on later, who knows a hell of a lot more about politics than I do, that'll educate all of us about what's true and not true about her record. But the perception is, when she was Attorney General, when she was a district attorney in San Francisco, attorney general in the state of California, there were black men incarcerated for nonviolent offenses. Sentences were stretched, et cetera, et cetera. This is what they will be said about her. Obviously, even though she was never the czar, the border czar, that's how the Republican side, the conservative side, is going to paint her when it comes to the issue of 10.5 million illegal immigrants crossing our borders since Biden took office in 2021. This is what they're going to say. And so when we understand that, and that's the reality, she is not the quote-unquote perfect candidate. But you know what she is at this moment in time? The best the Democratic Party's got. She's certainly better than Joe Biden. I don't believe she'd be better than Michelle Obama, but that ain't an option. And so that makes her the best we've got. And when you consider her prosecutor's background, when you consider her intellect, when you consider how feisty she can be, when you consider how she could pick Donald Trump apart in terms of the lies that he may tell, and she's younger by over 21, 22 years to Joe Biden. And she's been aching for this opportunity. And she's considered an individual that's been muzzled. I'd say that makes her a pretty damn good candidate. And here's the thing that I won't hold against Kamala Harris. Her performance when she was running for the presidency in 2020 and she couldn't even make it to 2 months. She had to suspend her campaign because she wasn't gaining any traction. I'm not holding that against her, but it's not just because it was 4 years ago. You know why I'm also not doing that? I'm not doing that because it's one thing to go against your contemporaries within the same party trying to prove you're the more viable candidate than the rest of your teammates. It's another thing entirely to go against the enemy, and the enemy in her eyes would be Donald Trump. So her going up against Joe Biden and others is nothing compared to her going up against Donald Trump. That means you're going to have the left on your side because they certainly ain't going to vote for Donald Trump. It's about getting people to the polls, and it's about getting independents, particularly women, to side with you. Roe v. Wade and how Donald Trump bragged about playing a role in that being overturned. That's something that's right in her wheelhouse. Those 2 impeachments, those civil suits, the 34 felony counts, that's in her wheelhouse. Being able to deduce when he's telling the truth and when he's lying and picking them apart on the spot. She has that capability. Will she do it? I know she'll need to. So again, that's going to make her the best candidate for the job at this particular moment in time. It ain't about who she's going against amongst the Democrats. No, if she's the Democratic nominee, she only got one opponent. And that's Donald Trump, the GOP nominee. I'm not telling you she's going to win. I'm telling you she was a better option than Joe Biden. And at this moment in time, she's the best option the Democratic Party has.